Hey there, I'm John.
And I'm Josh.
We are up to week 13 of the college football season, and so we want to do a preview of the week and look at what are the big games.
Yeah. And actually, as far as weeks go, there's a number of good games. I think this would technically be considered rivalry week in a normal season.
In a normal, yeah.
There's definitely a lot of games being played in place of rivalry games, like South Carolina Clemson's obviously not going to be played. I don't know why that was my example that came to mind, but like all the in-state rivalries that aren't in the same conference, most likely not being played this season.
Yeah.
So just something interesting to note.
It is. That is interesting. So let's start off. We got number 13, Iowa State. They're going to be at number 17, Texas. So this is really interesting. You know, we were talking about Iowa State and winning this
Iowa
past
State
game.
is actually the front runner for the Big 12 right now. I don't believe they lost the Big 12 games.
It should be. But are they ranked behind Oklahoma?
They are by, I believe, one ranking. I think Oklahoma is number 12. Kind of stupid in my mind. We talked about that earlier.
We did.
I think Iowa State beats Texas.
Oh, I do too.
Especially after beating Kansas State 42-0. I am just impressed both offensively and defensively with this team right now.
Yeah, I think they've come together well.
Yeah. So I give them this win.
Yep. I'm with you. Then we have number 2, Notre Dame. They're going to be at number 19, North Carolina.
I really think the playoff committee is just trying to give Notre Dame a better strength of schedule by ranking North Carolina at all. Okay. So I think Notre Dame wins this game.
Yeah, because it does seem like, does North Carolina really deserve 19?
No. So North Carolina is going to get beat by Notre Dame and Ian Book pretty handily.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you have the Iron Bowl. So Auburn's going to play number 1 Alabama. And, of course, the big news in this one is that Nick Saban has been diagnosed with COVID.
This time for real.
And it looks like it's for real.
Last time he was asymptomatic, and then they realized it was a false positive. This time he is showing symptoms, and they've already said 100% that he will not be at the game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily going to have a big impact on the fact that Bo Picks is still going to throw interceptions, and Auburn is still going to run the same thing they always do.
I thought you were saying that Bo Nix always shows up in the Alabama game, though.
He does always show up in the Alabama game, but not this year. This Alabama team is too good, especially for Auburn right now. I think Alabama wins by 28 plus.
Okay. Then you have, in this one we had mentioned at the close of the last one, but we have San Jose State. They're going to be at Boise State.
Right.
And this is a big one.
It is a big one. So 4-0 San Jose State, 4-1 Boise State, or 3-1, who knows.
4-1,
huge game for the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Pretty much going to be the decider, at least for one of the teams that's going to be competing. Because there's no sides right now in the Mountain West since they started late, so it's just the top 2 teams. So whoever wins this one will be first.
Will be first, along with Nevada.
Along with Nevada, correct.
Yeah. Okay, and then you have Kentucky's going to be at number 6, Florida. Wow, it's just hard for me to see. I mean, Kentucky.
So this usually
they're not a horrible team. They really do have some talent. Yes, Florida State, Florida.
So usually this would be a Florida State, Florida deal, but obviously that's not happening, and Florida State would probably call out anyways if it was. I don't see Kentucky standing a chance, especially after the way Alabama exposed them. Florida knows that to have, I think, positive attention, they have to really compete at the level that Alabama's competing right now. Alabama beat this team 63-3 or something like that, so if Florida doesn't win by probably 40-plus points, people are going to question it. So Trask is going to have a field day. Kentucky loses by a lot.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case as well. Then you have Pitt is going to be playing number 3, Clemson.
Right.
Pitt's 5-3, but they've been playing some good ball lately. And so I'm just sort of wondering, can they give Clemson a hard time here? It feels unlikely, but hey, maybe.
I mean, and the fact that Clemson's ranked number 3 after losing to Notre Dame, the rankings right now just seem a little bit iffy to me. I don't know. I get it. Like, if Notre Dame's the number 2 team in the country, then I guess I understand why they didn't move back far. But I feel like there's better teams. Even Ohio State, who hasn't played that much, I still feel like deserves to be higher than Clemson.
Okay.
Excuse me.
But still likely they're going to win that game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And then you have LSU's going to be at number 5, Texas A&M. Texas A&M feels like they haven't played in a long time, but so this is a big game for Texas A&M to be able to show up and say, hey, we deserve something here.
I believe, not last year obviously, but 2 years ago, when Texas A&M played LSU, it was one of the best games that I've ever watched in my life.
Oh, is that the multiple
overtime game? Yeah. Obviously, LSU won last year because they won every single game last year.
Yeah.
I think Texas A&M wins pretty big. They definitely seem like the better team, especially with the way LSU's been playing this season. So Texas A&M.
So next two games I just wanted to mention. Troy is going to be at Appalachian State. App State just had that disappointing loss. But
App State rebounds in this one. I think they rebound and beat Troy by a good little bit here.
Yeah. I think that would probably be the case as well. Troy, you better look out for that one. Then the other one, the two undefeated teams, Kent State versus Buffalo.
I mean, I honestly don't know much about the MAC in general, but I mean,
this might be a game worth watching, though.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
It's probably early and not sure when the game's going to be played.
Usually.
Either
it could be tonight.
It could be
while we're making
Tuesday
this video.
Wednesday night. Yes.
Either way, I got nothing as far as the information, but it is a cool little matchup for the MAC for sure. So,
all right, let's talk about upsets.
All right, 0-6 in the past 3 weeks.
It's been rough in the past 3 weeks.
I think Maryland and
if they actually play,
Tagovailoa brother are going to beat. Yeah, that's his name. Forgot it for a second. Are going to beat number 12 Indiana.
Okay.
I really, really wanted to see Maryland play Ohio State.
I did.
I really did.
Yeah.
I felt like they had finally figured something out, especially after that first game of the season. Maryland looked like they were going to be stinkers, and have really recovered since then. Yeah. So I think Talia does great.
Talia has been a huge part of that.
Talia does great.
Huge part of that.
Upsets number 12 Indiana. All right.
Ouch.
Now, I'm going with another game. I've gone against this team multiple times this season. They might be my new Cincinnati, depending on how this game goes. Can't pick against them again. I think Colorado upsets number 18 USC. I refuse to believe that Southern California is back. All right. The Trojans, they're not back. They're just like Texas. They will never be back. Number 18, they've been just the amount of luck that they had in their first two games. They beat Utah. I'll give them that one. But the amount of luck in the first two games that they had go their way to beat those teams, it has to run out. Colorado hasn't lost yet. They have had two really close games, one to UCLA, which USC also had a close game to UCLA. I don't know what the correlation there could be, but I do think Colorado beats USC at USC's home.
Okay. Well, that is our Thanksgiving week picks that we're looking at. Have a great Thanksgiving, and join us next time.
Go Broncos.